Hello, my name is Casey Wilson, owner of Roseville Strength and Conditioning, and one of your co-hosts of the Do or Do Not podcast. And this is
very disappointed co-host Brad Erie.
We're going to get into why you're disappointed.
Yes.
So I'd like to come at this today from a Star Wars expert, someone who is very well versed in the extended universe, Legends as Disney likes to call it.
Yep, nerd.
Who's watched all the TV shows, all the cartoons.
Buff nerd.
Some comic books, not very many of them. I really love the extended universe books. I mean, those books, in my opinion, are Star Wars besides the original 6 movies.
Yes.
I'm going to say, just to be positive on the start, I liked the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. I liked Andor. I liked Ahsoka.
Yes.
Because they're trying to bring Heir to the Empire in a bastardized way, but at least they're trying to bring it into the universe.
Thrawn.
I love Grand Admiral Thrawn. I love that character. So anyone who watches this podcast knows that I am
a bit harsh on one particular woman.
Now there's going to be 2.
Yeah.
Really harsh on. Kathleen Kennedy is a...
Go ahead and say it. She's a devil. She's trapped in a woman's rotting corpse.
She's a narcissistic, nasty piece of crap who wanted to make Star Wars her own instead of carry on the vision of what Star Wars was.
Yeah.
So everything she does is skewed by how can she get rid of the Skywalker group people? How can she make shows that totally screw with the fabric of what Star Wars is and has always been in the focus and the vision of George Lucas and the people that actually believe in his vision and try to propagate it. A Dave Filoni, who has been catching some shrapnel this week.
I'm still team Filoni.
I will go over that a little bit. You cannot be mad at Dave Filoni for the Acolyte or the Skeleton Crew, really. The Skeleton Crew is coming later this year. These are Kathleen Kennedy projects.
Yeah.
Done by independent people.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a few people talking about, and I read a few rumors that Filoni and Favreau consulted on the Acolyte later in the process because they had to fix some glaring holes. And I don't know what those holes were because there's some glaring holes already.
Yeah.
But with that being said, these are not their projects.
Yeah.
This is not Dave Filoni going, he had nothing to do with this. This was Kathleen Kennedy bringing in Leslie Headland.
Yeah.
Acting like she's a Star Wars fan, and now we know for sure she's not a Star Wars fan and knows crap about Star Wars after watching episode 3 of the Acolyte. But we haven't discussed episode 1 and 2, so I wanted to go back from the start.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through a bunch of technical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go through, I'm going to break stuff down that Brad doesn't discuss. But Brad, when you after the first 2 episodes, how many kettlebells? We have a 5 kettlebell system here at the Do or Do Not podcast. What did you give the first 2 episodes?
I gave it a 4 out of 5 kettlebells.
What did I give it?
I don't remember, 3?
2 out of 5.
Oh, that's right. You were harsher. I came in much more optimistic. I am...
Hey, what I said in the last podcast, I said, I'm trying to be optimistic, but all signs lead to pure shit.
I dig the first 2, the first episode in particular. I'm like, all right. I'm not sure how an Acolyte can take down a Master Jedi, but I'll roll with it. I'm like, sure, okay. She looked like, a Jedi should be a little bit harder to kill than that. But
did Kathleen Kennedy give you money?
No.
Are you paid Disney shill?
Oh, no. You should wait till you get me to talk about episode 3. Episode 3.
We're talking about episode 1 and 2 right now. So there's your opinions. We're not even going to touch on episode 3 until later on.
After episode 2, I was like, okay, I'm following along. I've always said for the 30 regular followers we have, they know that I just want lightsabers and Jedi. Don't give me series without lightsabers and Jedis. And I got that. I was rolling with it. And by the way, sidebar, we just surpassed our 300th unique listener. Can you believe that 300 people have listened to this? Anyways,
especially since we're not consistent with our production times.
But so after the second one, I was excited for the third one. I'm excited to see where they go.
We had a different view on it.
Yeah, and the third one, we'll get to it, broke me as a man. I'm broken. But you just tell us from the
All right. So let's start off.
nerd point of view.
Let's start off. Now, the Acolyte's 100 years before.
Yeah.
This is something that's very important.
They haven't,
the Phantom Menace.
Yes. They haven't seen a Sith in like 900 years.
Yes.
Or so.
All right. So let's start off.
Mm-hmm.
Great fight scene.
Yeah.
Master Jedi Indira against someone who has knives.
Yeah. Who is not a Master Jedi or a Master Sith.
Or a Master Force user. We've seen it already. Like, Indira had her beat every which way because she's a Jedi Master.
Yeah. Not a knife.
If you know what a Jedi Master is, especially like in the extended universe, but just even look at Luke Skywalker.
Yep.
He walked in. All right, let's take Luke Skywalker. Most power. It's hard to compare Master Indira to Luke Skywalker since Luke Skywalker was the most powerful Jedi in history. If you read the extended universe books,
yes,
like I have, and not goat milk drinking,
I quit
space goat
Luke.
drinking, I quit Luke, that bullshit that Kathleen Kennedy put out in the sequel trilogy, but the one that was in the extended universe, which honestly, I'm getting tempted to no longer watch Disney or go through Disney stuff anymore, just because I'm going to stick with the core of what Star Wars is, which is the 6 movies. I love those. The books. I'll watch the rest of this piece of shit of a series.
So we can talk about it.
So we can rip it and show how horrible they are and how horrible Kathleen Kennedy is and how horrible. But guess what? We're not the only ones. I've read a lot of headlines.
Yeah.
You know what the audience reviews right now as of yesterday? I looked it up on Rotten Tomatoes again after the 3rd episode. Because it was at 20% by the audience on Rotten Tomatoes, 86% by these awesome critics. I wonder if anybody's paying these critics. Oh, is there a little money under the table going in there?
Maybe.
Maybe they have no clue what Star Wars is.
I think
these
that's
critics. They're trying to judge it as a show.
Yeah.
And even as judging it as a show, the writing is horse crap. I mean, the suspension of disbelief. Sorry, I'm still dealing with lingering throat and sinus issues from being sick last week.
That was all due to episode 3.
Well, it caused me to have a relapse.
Yeah.
It's the most negative piece of crap out there. But before we get there, let's go over.
We really get negative.
No, I was negative. Also, I gave it 2 out of 5 kettlebells after watching the premiere episodes. But guess who watched it the night it came out? Because I'm a Star Wars fan, and I said I'm going to give it a chance, right? I'm going to give Lindsay Headland a chance, which I don't think she was going to take very well.
Yeah.
As far as she was given a chance to helm a $180 million TV series.
Yeah.
Double what they spent on Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
With Darth Vader in it.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi in it. But I wonder why she was given $180 million. Do you ever think about why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Let's be honest. She's a Kathleen Kennedy acolyte.
Yeah.
You can call, it's very simple. She's an acolyte of Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy brought her in. Kathleen Kennedy told her what she wanted done. Mm-hmm. They wrote this pile of crap. One of the writers that she brought in didn't even know, never had even watched one Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
Which you can tell.
Yeah.
You can really tell. Shocker. Who writes the checks over at Lucasfilm?
She does.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
Why in the blue hell for some TV show that has nothing to do with any of the main characters ever that's been done, George Lucas, are you going to give Leslie Headland all this money to do this?
Well, I thought it's because Kathleen Kennedy needs a hit. She needs...
If she did,
something really going out.
Shit the bed with this one, huh?
Especially after...
How can you spin this? I'm sure she'll spin... Here's how you spin it. You toxic men out there that comprise almost all of our fandom.
Yeah.
Men are a huge part of the fandom of Star Wars. Because Star Wars made us feel things as young men.
Yeah.
And it's carried on, and we want that feeling again. Like Luke showing up in The Mandalorian gave us that feeling of when we were kids again.
Like the 3rd best day of my life.
It was awesome, and they could have done more with it, but at least that happened. there's a reason why I put all these up. These are all extended universe characters, even this Luke Skywalker, because this was what he was, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You got a little bit of him in The Mandalorian, and this is his wife, Mara Jade Skywalker.
Now, how do you feel about
these are all extended universe, and I'm thinking about with the crap that Kathleen Kennedy's allowed to put out and that Leslie Headland put out, and you have, I don't care if the actors don't know anything about it, but the writers have to know what Star Wars is and what the core of Star Wars is. You have to love Star Wars, in my opinion, to write something. This is why on that last Star Wars episode we had, I said James Mangold should immediately have his film pulled because he doesn't want to talk about what Star Wars the core is. He wants to write his own thing.
So how do you feel about Leslie wanting to do the Old Republic? Like she wants to get into Dark.
If she's allowed to do any other Star Wars projects after this pile of crap, it's only because the board gave Kathleen Kennedy another contract. I won't be watching any more Disney. I will cancel my subscription to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And I won't know what happens because I won't watch any more of their crap. They need to fire Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
Hey, you distracted me. You distracted me.
That's my job.
All right. Back to the we'll get to this at the end.
I should be allowed to ask you questions and have you explain.
You're distracting me. All right, so
that's what I'm paid for.
As I was talking about a Master Jedi, and we start talking about Luke Skywalker, and then we went down. Master Indira.
Yeah.
Does she have to look at something to control it?
I didn't think so.
So when May throws the knife at the bartender, does she have to look away, or can she just stop it? She can do more than one thing at once. Jedi can multitask. They can have dozens of blasters shooting at them, and they're crisscrossing using the Force, danger sense, all these things. She should have known she was going to throw that knife before she even threw it. But yet she has to look away, and then this chick's able to throw a knife at her. May's able to throw a knife at her and kill a Master Jedi. This goes against everything that the Jedi in a Jedi training and what a master should be, or even a Padawan should have been able to do that. But yet they insult our intelligence so much that this girl with knives is able to kill a Jedi, a Master Jedi.
Now, correct me with how many people in these shows have been lightsabered through their chest and survived? I think everyone but
we have Reva and we have Sabine.
Yeah. So you get those lightsaber through your chest. They pull out of it. They're okay. But a little throwing dagger takes down this.
Well, that's true. But the whole point is the dagger would have never got into a Master.
Yeah, but I'm just saying on top of that.
He would have taken down May and the whole show would have been over. That's the problem with this bullshit. You can't suspend belief when you know. Now, if you have the jackholes that watch the sequel trilogy that are 20-something years old who think that all the new stuff is great, those uneducated people, I couldn't call them jackholes. They're just ignorant. They don't understand. They're like you.
Just not as good looking.
And you have like 10 times the knowledge they have because I had you read 4 of the books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's an ignorance there where you don't understand what George Lucas was talking about. George Lucas didn't even like all the books that were written, which I don't know. The books, when you take Heir to the Empire and you just continue on through, the the Legacy of the Jedi, the Dark Nest, then the Aftermath, it is so good. It's 10 times the stories of any of this bullshit that's come out from Disney. But with that being said, how do you take a Master Jedi and kill her with knives, a knife-wielding acolyte who has a moderate ability to use the Force?
I thought
it'd be like a Master Jedi being killed by a Padawan.
No, it'd be like me walking into a jiu-jitsu place and taking out the black belt. Like the 6th level black belt.
Hey, look over there.
Yeah.
Oh, I armbarred you already.
Yeah, it'd be like, I Falcon gripped you. Yeah.
All right, so first 5 minutes, I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
I was like, okay.
So you're like, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 kettlebells because that Master Jedi wasn't that good. I don't think Carrie-Anne Moss can really fight.
Well, first
I haven't seen The Matrix.
Look, I was like, you know what? The first 5 minutes, there was action.
Also, I got to say is, come on, man.
Look,
4 out of 5 kettlebells.
I liked it.
I don't trust any of your ratings anymore in the future.
Well, that's smart.
All right, Brad rates it this. Now, here's the real rating.
So I was like, okay, I can, as soon as it happened, I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me, but I'll still go with it. Like, I like the action. I like that there's
fighting,
like, boom.
you know
I
what?
like the fighting.
The two major fighting scenes in the first two episodes.
Yeah.
You know, that one, and then the one between Soul and May.
You're so choked up about this that
those fighting scenes are great.
Yeah, I liked it.
I will give them that. I like the hand-to-hand combat fighting scenes.
I like the initial premise.
Are great. Not as good. Their robes aren't as good as my robe, but so be it.
I know. Thank you, Grandma.
I know. So, first episode, I don't have tons of hate. I don't like it very much. I'm sitting there like going, this is stupid.
Oh, no, you were texting me stuff. Talk about the obese Jedi.
We're not to episode 2 yet.
Oh, my gosh.
So at the end of episode 1, after,
yeah,
all the Jedi bullshit, all the, look, Osha used the Force to, all right. You get to see the Jedi Temple and the younglings training, and I think all I can think about is
I like
Anakin going in there and cutting them all down.
Yep, I like that. I like Jedi Soul. I thought he was a good character. I thought the shirtless Yordi scene was a little for the ladies. Like we didn't need to see a shirtless ripped dude ironing his Jedi robes.
We'll get to episode 2, our obese Jedi. But let's that's what a Jedi should look like.
Yeah. Lean
and strong. Do we not see the training that Luke had to go through to be a Jedi?
Yeah.
In Empire Strikes Back?
But I look at Yoda.
Do you see a bunch of like in any of the previous Star Wars, did we see any obese Jedis?
But we've seen like Yoda doesn't look like he's physically fit. You've seen some really old Jedi.
Yoda is like 900 years old and jumping around and fighting master sword fighters.
With the Force.
Like Count Dooku. Yes, with the Force.
Look, I don't mind a little fluff, a little.
Anyway, we're getting into episode 2 already.
So,
I'm just saying, Yoda the shirt off, it's like, that's what a Jedi should look like.
Okay.
Or some facsimile. Luke wasn't a big yoked up guy. He was a little guy. Yeah. Mark Hamill's not a big man. Yoda, you bring that up. Leia is very small.
Yep.
But you don't have to be big, but you have to be fit.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Like this was pushing the limits.
When you see a fat cop, how much respect do you have for that fat cop?
Well, not very, but
okay. But I used to be a cop, and I'll tell you, other cops are not super excited about really obese cops being there if there's multiple suspects, and you're going to possibly have a problem. So that there's a thing about if you're going to. Do you see any obese Navy SEALs?
Now,
would not the Navy SEALs be the biggest comparison to what a Jedi is?
You would think
they're tip of the spear fighting force.
Yeah, like Delta Force something.
Yeah. Do you see any obese guys out there?
Now, first of all,
on the beach, shirtless.
You say
belly
obese,
slapping them in the chin,
but I don't think they know like how obese you're saying. Like
he's 300 pounds.
Oh no, he's
320.
Like, I think he's like 480.
Nah, I think he's probably like he's not that tall. He's probably like he's possibly 325, something like that at the most. Because he's not super tall, but he is rotund.
Yeah, he is big.
Not like just a lot of people are obese, but you look at them and you go, well, they're not that big, but they.
Or some people can carry the weight.
What I do for a living is take calipers and pinch people, and, and so I know what body fat percentage is obese and what isn't. But he was dangerously obese.
Yeah, I was worried that if 3 swings of a lightsaber, he would pass out.
You got to put everybody, and you got to be inclusive, right? Well, you got to have lesbian mothers who create babies in the future.
I'm fine.
You
got
to have obese, Jedi.
If you're going to believe
all the women have to be the top in charge people.
Well, yeah. I mean,
no white males. Screw those white males. There's not a white male in this show, I don't think.
So this is my view on it real quick. So everyone's like, well, you're believing in force and you're believing in laser swords and sound and space. But but there's rules in this universe, even though some of the rules just make no sense. Like all the spaceship sound effects. Like there's no sound in space. We all know that.
There's no fire in space either.
Yeah, we know that too. But there's certainly rules that all the 6 movies and books have kind of built up in this universe. And you buy it that there's these rules, like there's certain things that they have to go by, and one of them is to be like a Jedi human. Now if they would have made that guy non-human, like painted purple horns
like a
on him.
reptilian that was really thick.
Yeah,
the
then
legs
you'd be
are
like-
huge and thick. Or,
You'd be like, oh, okay, well, maybe he can be that big, but he's still whatever. But they just took like the biggest dude they found. They're like, all right, we're gonna make you a Padawan, and I'm like, okay, like this guy looked like he was out of shape, and it's the same thing with
he didn't look like he was
the
out of shape. He
Acolyte.
looked like he'll probably be dead in 5 to 10 years
Yeah.
from obesity.
The Acolyte taking down the Master Jedi is like another thing that's going against the rules of what all these other people put forth. That like,
So you
even
did
though
see-
this is fantasy,
So you're seeing the trend in episode 1, episode 2, and then you see the real slap of the face of Star Wars and rules in episode 3.
now
You see the real, like, we know what the Force is, not George Lucas, not Dave Filoni, not Favreau, not all you dumb Star Wars toxic males out there.
Yeah.
We know what the Force is, and we can do whatever we want with it.
Not to totally jump ahead, I think it was the first time that I had such a visceral reaction that I was texting you at night of like, what the F? Like,
Yes.
What?
All of a sudden, I started getting texts from Brad, and I'm like, yeah, I know.
I'm like, I will ride in. I have such a low bar when it comes to this stuff.
It does. And you crushed it. You stepped on his bar and smashed it into the ground.
It nearly broke me. But keep going. Because it gets so much worse.
So at the end of episode 1, which we're still
Yeah.
we've gotten sidetracked quite a bit because we're both very passionate about how crappy this Acolyte is.
At the end of episode 1, I was riding with it. I'm like, okay, who
Okay.
killed? Who killed? It's
No.
not this girl.
No, what
Who
did I
killed
what
the
happened
Jedi?
right at the end?
They realized that the other sister was alive.
No, that happened in episode 2.
See, it all runs together.
Jackass wannabe Sith.
Yeah.
Standing out there in the wide open on some beach somewhere with May walking up to him.
Oh, yeah.
He's communicating in her head somehow or through her device.
The
You
helmet.
hear the voice. And then this Sith just turns on his red lightsaber like this right out in the wide open for no reason and
Yeah.
just like holds it up like this. That is an artistic flourish. That has nothing to do with the story or the real life. Why would you do that? Why would any Sith do that? Why would any Jedi?
badass.
That's the problem. Is
Yes.
that's bad storytelling. That's bad
That's
writing.
true, but I was there. I was
If
like,
you want to have
"Ooh."
them standing up there out in the wide open, but what would a Sith probably really do? Come up from behind her.
Oh,
We
yeah.
didn't even know he was there.
But-
or she was there, because I'm pretty sure it's one of the moms that did survive is the
Look, man.
fake Sith, because I don't think Filoni and Favreau would have let them, because they
We'll
came in
see.
and had to fix
We'll
stuff. They
see.
wouldn't have let a Sith Lord
Look,
be put on there unless they made it tenebrous.
you know that I am a former graphic designer. I'm all about the look, and they had me with the what's the guy with the gold stormtrooper face from Ahsoka? I can't remember his name.
You had a hard on for him, and
Dude, yes, I loved his look. I loved him, and now I have a
Enoch.
hard on for the.
Enoch.
That's right. Thank
Captain
you.
Enoch.
And I had a hard on for this Sith character with this helmet that looks like an evil demon smiling. I'm all in. Like I saw that.
You mean Smilo Ren?
Yeah, I was like, oh,
I
am
am
not
not,
looking helmet.
because that technically
in.
that there should be no Sith.
Yeah, for 1,000 years, no one's seen a Sith. For
Well, there
1,000
is
years.
Sith, but they keep hidden
Yeah,
because they're building their power, the power of 2,
so you wouldn't go
the
out
rule
there.
of 2. There's not some Sith out there waving a lightsaber, a red lightsaber around in the wide open.
Yeah.
That's not how Sith do things. Butt fuck.
Now there was a video game about 2 young people going in different way, twins,
Yeah.
2 young men, and
Let's let Lindsay Headland get her hands on that too.
like
Jesus Christ.
whatever they should just. I said it the last time. I'll say it again. They should just go up to what's the name of Ubisoft and be like, look, here is $500 million. Make a trilogy, the same graphics you made the video.
Until
games
you
in.
get Kathleen Kennedy, Bob
Go
Iger,
for it.
people like Leslie Headland
Yeah.
removed from the Star Wars universe campus, having no influence whatsoever.
Yeah.
Every Star Wars project, in my humble opinion, besides I'm gonna give Dave Filoni a little bit of a chance, because what a lot of people do, I won't get into that yet.
Stay focused.
You're sidetracking me, man.
All right. So let's go.
So then
Episode 2.
So we get through with the stupid Sith raising a sword that
Which
we're in
I
episode 2,
loved.
which was retarded.
Yes, but still.
And yeah, I used the
cool.
retarded word because it's a retardation of what
Yeah.
Star Wars should be.
It's still cool.
It's
When
just
you get
ridiculous.
zoom with the red, you're like, you're okay. Now we're talking.
No, it's stupid. There's no possible reason for a Sith to do that.
But see, why do they
Now, if a
hurt
Sith
me?
walked up behind her and went zzz and turned it on and it shot up through her skull, then I'd be, oh, that's Sith. That's a Sith doing that right there.
That's his acolyte. He's not
That's
going to do
bullshit.
that to her. But look, I admit,
Why not?
I've
Sith freaking just kill people like
I've been hurt.
hell of it. If you
And,
read the extended universe,
What was I think it was a Ahsoka, or maybe it was.
all right, you're sidetracking into
All right.
Ahsoka now. We got to stay focused. We
All
don't have
right.
a limited amount of time to do this. This is
Okay.
why these podcasts take forever.
Look,
You keep throwing me down everywhere.
yeah. Well, I had a whole list
All right.
of cool-looking characters that they shit
So
on.
summation of episode 1. Love the fight scenes. Costumes were pretty good.
Loved it.
Sets were okay for 180 million. I don't know.
I liked it.
180 million. I expect more.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know, if they said this was an $80 million production, I said, all right, the sets are great.
I would totally buy the little pocket
The
computer.
ships, I'm not impressed with. I mean, I was looking at going, these. What is
Well, I mean, a
best you can
ship
get
is
for
a
100
ship.
It's the best you can get for 100 million.
Tell me you didn't like the little robot you wear, like the little calculator, tri-recorder
That's
robot.
fine. I don't dislike it.
I liked it. I was in episode 1. I
So
was in.
let's talk about the episode 2 and the
Yeah.
Baresh vow. So the Baresh vow. Do you know what it is?
No, I'm not that much of a nerd.
So, oh damn! Now I'm drawing a blank of his name. He was the guy who was he was the Padawan who was taken over.
Is that Yordi?
No, the other one.
Oh, the girl with the horns?
No, the one that got his eyes blacked. He was in Game of Thrones. He was Tommen and anyway, Torben. Yeah,
It's bad when I can remember a name.
I know. I could not remember his name because he's such a shitty character.
Yeah, I didn't understand that at
So
all.
anyway, the Baresh vow. She's going to go try to kill someone else, right?
Yeah, she's going to kill
This is
4
where
Jedi.
this is where we see the obese Jedi at the temple.
When we say obese, there's got to be a stronger word. I mean,
Dangerously obese is what we were.
Yeah,
talking about. It's
it's
over 40% body fat. So she goes and she's going to try to kill the second Jedi out of these 4.
yep. We don't know why yet. We don't know why.
We don't
we
know
just
why.
know. We just know that they did something in the
Honestly,
past.
we still don't know why because we know what's the story's so freaking easy to see what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we won't get into that yet because we're trying to get through episode 1 and 2. And they're kind of merged together a little bit.
Yeah.
So, what's the guy's name?
Torben.
I just can't remember. He's
Such
a horrible fucking character.
Yeah, he's not a memorable character.
When you commit suicide because somebody says, I don't care what the Jedi did to that temple. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they went around and put surgical strike lightsabers to cause the whole thing to collapse, a stone structure to collapse, but it wasn't fire that caused it to collapse. So anyway, she goes and tries to kill him, but he has a shield up, and he's taken the Baresh vow, which is out of a comic book. I had to read up on it. I didn't know what it was. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I read that comic. I didn't know what it was, so I had to read about what it was. But he has a force shield around him.
Yeah.
I do know what that is. And when you have a strong, powerful force shield around you, it's nearly impenetrable.
Yeah. The
Because all of your focus
way.
is in meditation and in creating this shield. So because you're not going to let anything from the outside in, you're cutting yourself off from the Jedi Order, and you're just meditating, right?
Yeah.
She can't get through. She has to find another way. So she goes and sees, I don't know,
A fixer guy.
some
A sleazy
Asian look. They could, that's the character they could have made a white guy, sleazy guy, dirty guy, But no, he was. This is my thing is they're so transparent with. They'll put everybody in there.
Yep. Hey,
But a white guy. You got every sexuality. You got every race, every gender. But you don't have a white guy in there.
Most of the Jedi are white. The obese guy was white.
Oh, you know what? The Temple Master was a white Jedi.
Yeah. Torben was a white guy.
Yeah, I guess he was. Now that I think about it, he's a character I tried.
I just want to say, for 180 million, they put the worst beard on Jedi Master.
That's what I'm saying. It's $180 million.
Yeah, I'm like, come on. But besides the point, I know I'm distracting you. So we see the Acolyte trying to kill the guy, Torben, and she can't do it. She's kicking, she's throwing knives, she is like
doing flipping,
everything she can. She's hitting this brick wall of force. She gives up. She goes into this place and she talks to like the slimy, kind of good looking. Is he good? Is he bad? He's like a drug dealer kind of thing. And he's like, I can make you a poison. But she's like, you got to figure out how to give it to him.
He's a character. Everybody's like, oh, he was such a great character. I was like, oh, really? What was great about him?
Yeah, he's like,
he said really smart things, and I'm like, this guy says really smart things.
Yeah,
drunk ass idiot over there, passed out on the thing, does not say really smart things. No, he'll create you a good poison.
He's kind of like a Han Solo type character, where he's playing both ways.
Don't make me start throwing elbows. Do not even compare him. Like, he's maybe up to Han Solo's waistline. Yeah. Remember, Han Solo, Harrison Ford was much smaller than what the character in the books was written, but
yeah,
you know, he's a big guy.
And so she goes and gets this poison. She goes back to the guy. The guy. We
don't need to play because everybody who's watching has probably already watched it, right?
But still, the absurdity is coming.
The absurdity is she starts talking to him. He comes out of his Baresh vow and goes, I've been waiting for this day for you to come. You know, and drinks poison and kills himself.
Yeah.
I mean, what in the blue hell?
So I watched this,
and I'm just sitting there going, I mean, they made Luke Skywalker look like a bitch. They made this guy look like they cut his testicles off.
Oh,
and he swallowed his own testicles. That's what it made it look like.
And I was thinking to myself, okay, now this is getting good. Like, this is why I got 4 out of 5. He must have done, these 4 Jedi must have done something so evil, so hardcore, that this guy punished himself. And then
you're trying to write the show, but you're realizing that the writers can't write that good.
This is what I was thinking as I was watching it live. I was like, I cannot wait to see what they did. And this is all part of why episode 3 broke me. Because I was like, ooh, this is so hardcore. I've never seen a Jedi so sorrowful for an action that he literally just waited to die and wanted the girl to come back and kill him. I'm in. Show me. I couldn't wait for a flashback. I'm like, oh, they're going to flash back. We're going to see this horrible thing. I'm like, did he kill younglings? Did he almost turn to the dark side? They're like, he killed his sister? Like, oh, show me. This is going to be the greatest thing ever. Casey's going to be so wrong. And then we talk about episode 3, and then I will return. But that's what I was thinking.
That's pretty much everything that happened. It was the most horrible piece of shit. This guy fucking drops out, drinks some green from a tree, and it's from a tree from back on this obscure planet or whatever. So anyway, the writing is so horrendous.
So he drinks it, collapses.
The story is so horrendous. And Brad's sitting there thinking the story has to be great.
Yeah, I got sucked in. I'm the optimist.
So here's the story of episode 3. Yeah. Jedi are sneaky, child-stealing bastards who don't even have a good understanding of what the Force is.
Yeah.
They don't have no understanding. This sect of witches is so much smarter than the Jedi. And they're horrible people. And we're going to find out they tried to killed all the witches, except for maybe one of them who ends up being the person who's in charge of me. Anyway, the whole shit, like sneaking behind trees, watching them and surveilling these witches and stuff, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's say they have to get some knowledge. They think kids are being trained.
You got to go through episode 3 step by step, or I will.
I know.
Because
I got what I'm saying is everything goes to shit because you think that these are great writers and they're creating this big, huge, amazing story. And what's the amazing story?
I don't know what happened.
These Jedis are dumbasses. These Jedis are dirty pieces of shit.
No, let's talk about why. So you
got to understand this is the main core of episode 3.
Yeah.
is that these witches are
loving, peaceful,
great lesbian witches who can create Force children. That
Look,
Sith, Darth Plagueis,
that head
nobody
witch,
else.
Not gonna lie,
nobody else.
She was smoking.
You know,
she was 9.8 on the.
What
on
a
the
great
scale.
no! What a great! I don't give a crap about that. What I'm saying is, what a waste of acting talent. She is a very good actor. She has a presence on the screen that is amazing. And the lines she were given were horrible pieces of shit of lines.
Mm-hmm.
Her dialogue was shit when you break it down. Her description of the Force and how to use it does not go along in the lines with anything that the Force has ever gone in lines with. If you even take the Night Sisters, which are actual witches,
that
are powerful.
Witches,
Dathomiri, which is what one of the lesbian couple who leads the witches is
from Osaka.
They have the
not Osaka. What's the name of this?
You mean Dathomir?
No, from the show. They I first learned about the witches from
Oksana or something. I don't know.
No, from the Ahsoka show. You know, with Thrawn.
That's all you know of the Night Sisters?
Yes.
I always
forget. And even that, I'm like...
That's why we started the show saying you were the ignorant one.
Yeah.
Like most of the ignorant Star Wars fans. And
right.
So if you watch the Clone Wars, you know what go watch the Clone Wars. You don't have to read a book.
I will.
So the Night Sisters, Mother Taliesin is in charge of the Night Sisters.
Yeah.
She literally, she grows legs and arms back for Darth Maul. She does a spell that makes Barriss Asajj Ventress super strong and powerful. You know, they have a very powerful understanding of the alchemy of the Force.
Yeah, and
Sith, if you go back in the history,
yes,
let the smart people talk.
I'm biting my lip because
if you go back in the history of the Sith, there were very powerful Sith lords that they were masters of alchemy, not of sword fighting, not of all. They mastered alchemy. Darth Plagueis, the Wise.
Yeah.
What was he trying to do?
You tell me. I'm letting the smart people talk.
He was trying to create a Force.
I don't remember.
Powerful. He was trying to manipulate midichlorians to make the chosen one or a powerful Sith.
Yeah.
You know, because he wanted to live forever. So he wanted to create a vessel that he could live in. So he'd been manipulating midichlorians and doing all these experiments for years before he even met Sidious.
Yeah.
That was his whole goal, is to live forever. He did not expect Darth Sidious to kill him. His plan was to carry on. But like in all good Sith, your apprentice kills you. And Sidious, I think, had hidden how strong he had really become.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, you got all these crazy, powerful Sith lords and people that spent hundreds of years trying to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
But these witches can just create babies out of thin air.
Well, I have so much
Force-sensitive twins out of the thin air. That is what they insinuated the whole episode.
Yep.
And that one of them carried it. The other one created them. Mm-hmm. They created Force-powered twins.
But they didn't call it the Force.
Possible in the whole Star Wars universe, the extended universe, the canon universe. This is not night witches. These are some sect of witches.
Yeah.
Talk about the Force like it's a thread and they're pulling on it. No, it's not, motherfuckers. The Force is a living entity that runs around us, through us.
Like the one
it's a part of us. It's not a thread you pull. We're pulling threads in our ceremony.
You would think that
this is them trying to rewrite what the Force is. This is
Lindsay
Hedlund and Kathleen Kennedy trying to rewrite what the Force is.
So, I like how they said the Jedi call it the Force, but they don't know it as well as we do. I'm like, you know what? Like the Force is like the thing that
these crazy monks,
all this universe has been built upon.
It is what they did is sacrilegious to Star Wars fans. And if you don't understand that means you don't understand Star Wars.
Or the Force.
And you have no knowledge. And you're like, well, we really like the lesbian witches.
Yeah, well, they were kind of hot. At least the lead one was. So they have these super powerful...
We don't need men.
Yep.
We don't need those men anymore, right, Leslie?
Powerful.
Fuck those men. We don't need them.
Women. All right, who are raising it seemed to be this peaceful outcast. They're just trying to go on this backwater planet. They're not mess with anybody. They seem to be in touch with, Mother Nature and the woman gods and all of this. And then here
Fuck those men gods, though, right?
Here come the Jedi.
Evil Jedi.
And the Jedi come, and the writers did them no favor. I was uncomfortable. They're like, hey, we have the right to interview any kids.
The right to test any kid.
Yeah. And why are you hiding your kids from us? We want to test them.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, we'll let you test the kids, I guess. And I'm like, really? Like, if they came to your house and be like, we're going to steal your kids to test them.
But they came in peacefully.
Yeah.
And they just said, hey, we've been.
Do you have kids?
They lied. I didn't like that they lied to him and said, oh, we just came here to this planet, and it was supposed to be uninhabited. Just checking it out. Yeah. And that's bullshit. I mean, come on. So they make the Jedi liars. So Leslie Headland has now taken the Jedi Order and made them liars.
Yep.
Made them pedophiles sneaking around the woods spying on kids, right?
Oh, and having to check them. We have to check your kids.
Well, that is like they did. They went around, but they start training kids at like 4 years old.
Yeah,
and a lot of the times the parents wanted them to take them too.
Yeah,
it was an honor to become a Jedi.
Yes,
if your kid had the force. Plus, you also knew you probably weren't. They're probably going to be a big handful.
Yeah.
All right, Maddie's a handful, right?
Oh,
doesn't have the force, but he's a handful. What if a bunch of monks came around and said, we can make this handful super powerful, very strong contributor to society, but he's got to come back to the temple.
So what would a Jedi do if they're like, yeah, we think your kid's good, it has some Jedi skill, some force sensitivity, and we want to take him? And mom's like, you know what? No, I don't want to lose my son. I would rather me and my kid. We would like to stay here where we're happy and peaceful. We don't want to deal with all of that. Would they take him anyways and be like, well, sorry, we asked you, but we're still.
Honestly, I can't think of any books or anything that I've read where the parents did resist that.
Yeah. But this lead witch was like resistant of like, no, I don't want to, but I can go ahead.
Well, and what is one of the reasons why is because if they take those blood tests, they do things, they're going to know, and these Jedi are going to get us.
Yeah.
And then what do they do? What would you say the Jedi came in there peacefully and just wanting? They weren't there. They weren't unhinging swords.
No, they didn't.
They weren't doing it. They came in and said, "Hey, we're trying to figure this out."
They
lied.
They lied. They sounded bizarrely like, you don't got girls behind you back there, because they're all hiding these two twin girls.
So they've been spying and acting like we just came here and now we're coming here.
A little creepy.
Just showed up right at the right time of the ceremony, right?
She also made the Jedi seem pretty impotent, because the lead witch just completely took over Torben's mind like it was nothing. Yeah. And like collapsed him on the ground.
His eyes went black. He went down. These are good witches, right?
Well, these are powerful witches.
These are light side powered witches, right?
Yes. Clearly more powerful than the Jedi.
Does not the Dathomiri lesbian? Doesn't she say that they should just go and kill them all?
Yeah.
There's only 4 of them. We can just kill them.
Yeah. They're so
Nobody's
powerful.
Gonna miss them, right?
Clearly.
They're good people.
So tell me.
These Jedi, they're the bad guys.
So somehow this episode, and if this is true.
Horrible writing. Let's just say this.
This is bad.
This is one of the reasons why we're hating it, is because number one, they're going against Star Wars canon and lore.
Yep.
And trying to create their own lore, and it's just horrible writing. You can't suspend belief.
I tried
because it's so horrible.
So
it's
now
glaring. You're watching it, going, "What in the blue hell are?" I'm gonna tell you this right now. You give me $80 million, and you give me a chance to make the Acolyte, and I get to write it, and you give me a general outline of it. I'll make that sumbitch 10 times better than this.
Well, you have an innate knowledge of this whole.
Thank you. Because I would make it true to Star Wars, and people would actually want to watch it, and it would make money. Do you know how many fewer viewers that these episodes are getting compared to even Ahsoka, which got low amount, and Andor, which didn't have a huge?
I have no idea.
3 million less viewers an episode.
Well, wait till 3. 3 crushed it.
It'll drop in the shitter after.
So,
because I'm literally the only reason I'm watching it now.
Yeah,
is just so we can do these and rip on them because honestly, they lost all. Like the first 2 episodes, you're going, maybe it'll get better, but I don't think so. I kept going. I kept sending you stuff like, this is the woke agenda stuff they're trying to push down our throats.
And I particularly don't mind.
You don't mind, but the problem is there's no creativity.
They reached a point.
These are not creative people. Leslie Hanlon is not creative because she tries to go opposite of what George Lucas did.
Yeah.
She's trying to shoot holes in everything that the George Lucas and the people that came before her did. She wants to create something new, just like who else?
Look,
the person who writes her check, Kathleen Kennedy, they hate the Skywalkers. They hate George Lucas. They want their own name on things. They want their own notoriety. They want the little check mark that, hey, I did the Acolyte and I did this and it made so. And guess what? It's shit in the bed and nobody wants to watch it.
All right, it's time for a dumb guy to talk. It's time to let the dumb guys talk.
Go ahead and talk.
All right,
and then
then you can explain how dumb it is. So now we have kind of lying, impotent-looking Jedi in front of these witches. All right, so in my mind, these witches, these Earth lovely, non-evil witches like your Darth whatever witches.
Dathomiri witches, Night Sisters.
Okay, I'm like, okay, well, they're more powerful than the Jedi. Whatever, fine.
What's the most famous Dathomiri character in all of Star Wars? He's a male.
I don't know.
Darth Maul. The horns.
Oh, yes.
That's a male Dathomiri. The females are Night Sisters.
Yes, so that he is that. So I like that she had horns.
You know what else the Night Sisters are?
Hey, dumb people
are on their planet. They're in charge.
Yeah,
they're in charge. The women are in charge.
Well,
and I liked it. Oh my god!
So May gets jealous of her twin sister because she wants to be a Jedi. She wants to go get trained.
She doesn't get jealous. She's just angry and pissed at her.
Yeah,
because they're
walking away.
Yeah, they're more powerful together.
And so May traps her twin sister in the cell or her home or whatever and starts a fire. Now, I don't know if this is what actually happens, but this is what the episode is written for to tell me, a dumb guy. This fire takes out all these powerful witches. Not one survived. May starts a fire. It spreads, kills all these powerful witches. All of them are dead now. And I'm like, well, how did these witches, if they're so powerful, how did they all die? And so May gets separated from, what's her sister's name? Osha, yeah. Osha, gets saved by my mean guy.
They're both standing on a platform.
Yeah, obviously.
And May falls down, and Soul grabs, doesn't use the Force to grab her.
No. He did the other
hand to grab her.
Yes.
I'm like going, why wouldn't he just go use the Force to grab both of them and save both of them?
Yeah. I mean, he did that when they were tracing Osha
in the beginning. In the Force to do that?
Oh no, he did it already in the beginning when she was older.
What type of stupid theatrics is that?
Oh, it's bad. And so Soul grabs her and says, like, I'm going to make you my Padawan, and I'm going to never make you feel like this way again. And I'm like, wait a minute, motherfucker. The first 5 minutes of this episode, it's clear that Osha flunked out of school and is now just like this grifter living this poor life, working for droids, almost like a slave, out in the middle of the Outer Rim. So we already know that these Jedi are impotent, that these witches who are better than a Jedi all died because of a fire, which maybe we'll learn is different. But
there's more of the story probably coming, but let's just say how they made it look, and this is the current story.
Right now, all of these powerful witches died. Like the Osha's running out.
Can I ask you something real quick about your analysis?
Yeah.
The one thing you left out is this a big wooden structure?
No.
What's it made out of?
It's all metal. All metal.
Stone. Stone and metal, I guess you could say. This
fire killed everybody.
You know what? I have a data pad that one of them has, and there's data pads on the wall, and then there's a lamp.
Yeah.
With fire in it.
Yeah.
I wonder why that was there. Could it be to start a fire, and there's no other reason for it to be there because they all have lights on?
I don't know. I don't know how this fire. So we know
they think that we're the stupidest people. Yeah. They can just like put stuff in there that we're not going to notice it. I think they think that we're just the most ignorant, toxic males, and chauvinist males, and we hate I don't care if you're a lesbian. If you want to scissor away, go at it. You know what I mean? I'm all for it. If you were great characters that were well written, let's say they go, we've been outcast by the Dathomiri witches. We had to flee them. Then all of a sudden I have a connection. I go, oh, these were Dathomiri witches. Not just some sect of witches out there. No. Go and I don't know. I'm just like sitting there like, I don't care about your sexuality. You know what? Let's say obese Jedi.
Yeah.
He's at some crappy little temple in the back. Let's say, well, they make a little line in there. Well, this guy here, he's a sweet, nice kid, even though he didn't really make it that well on Coruscant at the temple. We really like you start like creating like scenarios where if you want to throw an obese kid in there to be I know that there's 10-year-old and 12-year-olds obese kids out there that are on diabetes medication and their parents have stuffed them full of crap because I deal with it all the time. And I feel horrible for them.
Yeah.
And they got a lifetime where they're going to be battling a lot of demons, right?
Yeah.
But do they need an idol? Do you need to make an idol out of a obese Jedi? Do you need to put them in there? Should you do that? Or should the idols be the guys that are at the tip of the spear, are fit, healthy, and strong, and trained physically in the Force, not just mentally?
You're digressing, but though you're right. This was the first episode that when it was over, I started texting you because I didn't know what to do. Like, this was horrible. This was worse than Lizzo and Jack Black forcing their way into an episode where it had no point to the story. I don't know what I watched.
You know what? That Lizzo and Jack Black episode looks like a masterpiece. They should give it an Emmy.
Nothing on this made sense to me.
An Emmy compared to the bullshit that the Acolyte has been so far.
I'm like, I was texting him like, how did these super powerful witches die from this fire? Did May kill him?
Well, no. Here's what's going to happen. The Jedi are going to kill him.
It has to be, because whatever happened at that temple was so bad that Torben waited to die by May. Like, he felt so guilty that he locked himself out of the world and committed suicide.
And why in the blue hell would the Jedi be that worried about a sect of witches out somewhere? Number one, this story is contrived in
they had no idea that May survived, so that's not like they're looking at this
that is supposed to be uninhabited.
Yep.
And then, but these people know what did they come there and give it the name of the tree, and now they know where this planet is because they got poison that was from that tree, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing makes sense. Like, why were the Jedi there?
That's the problem. Nothing makes sense. That's why we dislike
it. Why are these sisters so powerful? Why is there a new Force?
Not because you bastardized the Force, which Star Wars fans will hate. Not because you wanted to put the lesbian lovers as the lead of the witches and the most smart and powerful people that can create Force-sensitive children.
Look, I'm all about
not any of that. Not the obese Jedi. Not how crappy the writing was for the thing. That is it. The key is it's a hot piling steam of shit.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to tie it all together.
I know how I can sit here and tell you how because it's very obvious. You're giving them too much credit to being smart and writing smart stuff.
Evidently.
You know?
I watched 3 and I'm like, they just contradicted everything.
I'll give you 3 scenarios that are going to happen.
Episode 2.
Number 1, May and Osha are strong. You know what a dyad is?
Yes, I watched the 7, 8, and 9.
Okay.
Kylo Ray.
So the most powerful Jedi that were twins
were
Jason and Jana Solo.
Yes.
Han and Luke's kids. They were twins.
Yeah.
In the extended universe. I mean, the best universe.
The correct universe.
So they have a very powerful Force connection, right?
Yeah.
And it makes them better. They're both very powerful Jedis. 2 of the most powerful Jedis in all of the extended universe. But I think May and Osha are stronger together. But they're already setting. They were setting. Okay, when May didn't kill the bartender when she was leaving, the kid was there. They're doing little things like that to try to make her seem a little bit redeemable.
Yeah.
Then what happens is the story's going to come out to Osha that the Jedi killed all the witches. And then Osha and May are going to come together. And then guess who's underneath the costume and acting like they're a Sith? One of the lesbian mothers.
I would be.
And then they're going to have to decide, do they want to be light side or dark side? And then they're going to battle along with maybe the Jedi to kill this.
Why do I keep
it's so predictable? Tell me that's not predictable.
Well, look, that I've been hurt. I was all in trying to figure out who Snoke was, only for Rian Johnson to kill him.
You can't figure.
I was all
out Kathleen Kennedy Productions,
Captain Plasma, until she had zero role. Phasma, whatever. I was all into Enoch, and he had like 3 lines and played no part. And now I'm into this.
It's really true.
Oh, and then I was all into this dark, menacing Sith.
Kathleen Kennedy, you have your newest producer and director right here. This guy right here, he'll do exactly what you want him to do.
Mando season 3, they had this dark, menacing Jedi, or no, Sith. He had the red lightsaber, and he was just killed. No clue who he was.
Hey, let's.
And now they have this cool-looking Sith, and I'm falling for it again.
Let's take Mando season 3, which had its budget cut.
Yeah.
Had a number of episodes cut.
Mm-hmm.
They had a whole plan with it that was going to go a little bit hand in hand with the Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy cut the budget and told them to change a bunch of stuff on it.
I wonder where that budget went.
Did that budget go to this pile of shit?
Didn't go to the Torben's beard.
Did not go to making the sets look like they were like movie sets. If you're going to pay $180 million, I expect a whole lot more. Bottom line is Acolyte is shit. And what did I say it was going to be? As much as I said I'm trying to be open-minded and understanding, I think this is going to be shit. And guess what it is?
So far, it's shit.
I am this close.
And it hurts me to say it.
So let's get into Dave Filoni. And some people are blaming Dave Filoni for the Acolyte because Acolyte is getting shit from everybody. Yeah. Every Star Wars fan is giving it shit. I think that there's a handful that are like the sequel trilogy is the best thing ever. It's so much better than all the other stuff. Yeah. Oh, I love Kathleen Kennedy. She's so awesome. She's brought a lot of DEI exclusivity into Star Wars, and I really appreciate it. It's he, him, they, them. You know, that bullshit. I'm sure there's a few that are out there.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's a lot of critics that certainly think it's the best damn show out there.
Yeah.
It's probably going to win some Emmys.
I don't know. But
the Star Wars fans and the podcast community, I just read some headlines going through some of the podcasts that I'll follow. Like I haven't watched hardly any of them. I watched Star Wars Theory.
Yeah.
And he had a couple guys on, but he went through it, and that's why I like watching him. And I try not to be a sounding board because I want to hear what other people are saying.
Yeah.
But when I watched one other thing, had a bunch of guys on it that have their own podcast, and they all come together and we're all talking about it. Same thing. They all say this is the biggest steaming pile of shit that Star Wars has put out, and how it's almost making them think, I may have to just leave Star Wars.
Yeah.
This might be what makes a lot of hardcore fans leave, and we're the ones that spend money. Guess what these things are? That's money spent to Disney. You know what I mean? People like me love these things back here. These people who love Disney, love Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't like Disney. I don't have any affinity for Disney. I go to Disneyland on like 4 times in my life I've been to Disneyland. But I love Star Wars. I love what George Lucas did. I love the extended universe. I love some of the first 6 movies.
Yep.
I'm going to go back this weekend, I think, and start watching the prequels, the Phantom Menace and stuff, because I haven't watched them in a while. And after watching Clone Wars again, I was like, it got me back into going, you know what? I need to watch the prequels. I've watched them multiple times, but I haven't watched them in a number of years. So the bottom line is I'm getting close to leaving all new Star Wars projects, meaning I'm just going to read books. I'll watch the original 6. You know, I'll watch Ahsoka season 2 if I still have Star Wars Plus and I don't cancel it, because I'll
give you my password.
Tell you what, Tuesday night, I was like, I'm going to cancel fucking Star Wars Plus. What horrible shit. They have had no good Marvel stuff come out, no good Star Wars stuff come out. So I have all the movies on DVD and Blu-ray. Yeah. I can just pop them into my PlayStation. What do I need Star Wars Plus for?
You don't have babies like me.
I do. My granddaughter does like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Oh well, yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You better.
You're
screwed. Yeah. Oh
So,
my God.
so anyway, I am getting close now. There's a lot of people that have been blaming Dave Filoni for this.
Yeah,
he's catching shrapnel because he's a chief creative officer, right?
he should.
This was already filmed and done pretty much by the time Filoni became chief creative officer. So was the Skeleton Crew. I think that he had more involvement on the Skeleton Crew. He's listed. Mm-hmm. It was basically these two guys wanted a coming of age story, which is what the Skeleton Crew is.
Yeah.
And they came up with this idea, and Kathleen Kennedy said yes. And then Kathleen Kennedy's is one of the producers. These two guys are producers. I think one of their last names is Ford, I think.
Yeah.
And then Filoni and Favreau are both listed as executive producers also.
Yeah.
But this Acolyte, this was all Kathleen Kennedy, all Lindsay Headland. You cannot blame Dave Filoni. From the rumors are Dave Filoni came in and told him you can't do some things, and they reshot some scenes because they were going so far off the reservation of what the Force is. They were trying to create something completely new, and that would have totally sabotaged a lot of stuff that is canon already. So with that being said, it sounds like Dave Filoni had very little, if not anything, to do besides fixing some structural problems where they're like, you can't do this.
Hey, I'm still Team Filoni.
Or if you're going to do this, you have to make it.
Yeah.
One of the witch mothers is the person with the red sword. You can't have it be Sith Lord, because then you're completely countering what happened 900.
Yeah.
900
years ago.
It's been it's been 1,000 years since we've seen a Sith.
Yeah.
So. It's just, I'm really so you can't blame Filoni.
Okay.
All right. The Skeleton Crew, I think if it's really shitty, you could probably blame Filoni. So I'm giving Filoni a chance as chief creative officer, but also I have a caveat as a fan is if Kathleen Kennedy isn't by the end of this year
gone, you're out.
I'm going to have to cancel my Disney Plus. I'm going to have to stop watching Disney. Any new Star Wars stuff, I'm not going to watch because she needs to be gone. Disney, you need to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. Board of directors, you need to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. You need to get rid of Bob Iger. They do.
Preach.
Your company's been shit in the bed for years now. Why would you not want to? Do you think this thing that's getting 3 million less viewers is now going to start bumping up all of a sudden? It's going to go down even further. This is going to be your worst watch Star Wars. And because all the Star Wars people are coming out and people are like going, well, if you talk badly about it, it's going to make more people want to watch it because you're giving it. No, it's not. People are hearing, and then people like me are losing complete faith. Like, I have no faith in any Star Wars projects. Even once Filoni's are doing it, he's going to have to prove it. They're going to have to prove they're going to start bringing real Star Wars back, or else I just won't be a part of it.
So
there's so much good content out there and shows.
Yeah.
Out there, and I'm not even sci-fi shows. I'm just talking. I recently watched Shogun, and on Hulu, which you immediately connect with the characters. I have to read subtitles. I don't give a shit. I love it.
Yeah,
Lord Toranaga is my man. What a freaking great character. All the characters are great.
Two more seasons.
I watched the original with Richard Chamberlain back in the day, the miniseries Shogun, which I loved when I was like a teenager. When I watched it. It came in a big old box set, like a black box set. And I don't remember who had it, one of my uncles or something. And I got all the VHS, bought a bunch of VHS tapes and watched it. I loved it. And this one is so good. Why can they make something so high quality, so good that I have to read subtitles and still I binged it?
Hey, did that cost $180 million?
I don't think so.
No, that's amazing how that can work.
I know.
So here's my thing. I just want to piggyback on what you're saying. First of all, I know you, and if these characters were written well and followed the greater lore that's been set, you wouldn't care who was a girl, who was a boy. You would like it.
Absolutely.
I know that's true. I know sometimes you come off as like being this way, but you're not. You are not sexist. I've known you a long time.
And I don't care if somebody even says I'm sexist.
Yeah.
Guess what? I don't care. That. I have friends and family members that have been lesbian. I don't care about the characters being lesbian lovers.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because
it's so horribly
written. I don't care. You can be the superstar character, and if you want to blow other guys, If you're a dude and you want to blow other guys, I don't care. That's your decision. That's your thing. But I don't care if it's a good character that's well written that lives along inside the Force in a George Lucas universe, or if it's another movie.
Well,
another that has nothing to do with Star Wars. I have no problem.
I know. I'm going to say something a little sexist.
Okay.
So I would say that 75% of diehard Star Wars fans are male. All right.
I would definitely.
That might be a little bit conservative.
And probably most of the hardcore ones are over 35.
Yes. If you want to make money with Star Wars and keep it profitable, you need to make it towards 35-year-old men who grew up with it.
Yeah.
Because we are the ones with the income to buy this. This stuff ain't cheap. The stuff he has there and behind there, they're not all cheap. This cool little, lightsaber on the side, they're not cheap. 12-year-old girls will not be buying this stuff.
No, they're buying Taylor Swift.
If they are trying to shift Star Wars to only be supported by 12-year-old girls, you're going to go bankrupt. Because guess what?
Or girls that are they, them, he, she, asexual.
Yeah, there's not enough of them to support this universe. Make it for boys.
Hey, this guy and me, when did we become fans of Star Wars? How old were we?
I was like 7.
Make it for the people that actually are going to love it and are going to cause you to make a ton of money because of the way you make them feel about Star Wars.
Right.
Stop. You're dead on. You don't make it for the woke community. The woke community is never going to go, oh, I love Star Wars.
Yep.
You're not going to see them marching down the street in their assless chaps with lightsabers waving over their heads.
Not in any great numbers.
No. You need to understand who your audience is, and you're alienating your audience.
Yes.
You're making shit.
For good or bad, most of your audience.
And bring in some creative people. Why are we what was that? What was the black woman's name? Start with a T.
I don't remember.
I hated the head witch. What an amazing actress.
Yeah. She
was mesmerized. Like when you're watching it, if she was actually saying good stuff, unfortunately I'm sitting there going, oh, the way she's describing the Force is the biggest pile of horseshit, but she did it really well.
Oh no, she was amazing.
She is what a great actress that you just wasted. You wasted that talent right there by giving her bullshit lines that had nothing to do with Star Wars and that made you feel good because you're trying to rewrite what the Force is.
Oh yeah.
Let me slap myself on the back, Lindsay Headland. That's what she laughs like. It's fucking horrible piece of crap.
It is. Look, I would be saying Filet Leslie, whatever her name is, if she would have, done a great job.
We said it before it even came out. It's like, hey, I am hoping beyond hope that Leslie Headland is going to surprise me and make Star Wars, make it good, make it like she's a fan.
Yeah,
I was praying, but I also said I don't think that's going to happen.
Yep, you were right. So far, you're right.
No, I am right no matter what because everything is just going to go downhill from episode 3.
I just want to say one last thing: the 75% guys who are the driving force behind this universe are pretty open. Like I'm in a large community with them. I talk to them a lot. I know that you follow a lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't know any guy who is like too many women, too many good-looking women. We don't need.
I hate women in charge. All these women, they should not be in charge.
No,
we grew up with Galactic Alliance. They should not be generals.
We grew up with all this stuff. If you're trying to force.
This is, a
different agenda instead of being let it be Star Wars. I don't need to have 21st century woke. And I am woke. I'm married to a, black woman, and we live in California. We are woke. We are woke. But I don't want my woke in Star Wars.
I am the father of 2 kids, and I raised them almost all on my own.
Yeah.
So I was a mother and a father.
Yeah.
You know who did the dishes and did the laundry? You're looking at it.
You're woke.
You know who went to all the parent-teacher conferences. You know who went to the IEPs. You know who went to all the sports games and all the plays. You're looking at them. Guess what? People like Kathleen Kennedy and
Yeah.
Leslie Headland, who say they want to promote diversity, yeah, they do the exact opposite because they're doing such a poor job at their actual job that people don't think they're competent. If they would, if Kathleen Kennedy 12 years ago came in and made great Star Wars and stuck with the philosophies of the Force and what George Lucas put out there and made Heir to the Empire.
Yep.
If Leslie Headland came and made the Acolyte and stuck to the Force and tried to do really good writing,
Yeah.
and tried to make this a really good show,
I would have been in.
they would have done so much more for DEI, for the lesbian cause, because Leslie Headland's lesbian. They would have done so much more because we're looking at the competency of these women and going, I love Kathleen Kennedy. I would love to get up here and go, man, Kathleen Kennedy, she's like the second coming of George Lucas.
Yep.
What she's done since Disney's taken over, you know how much I would love to say that? Why do I say all the bad stuff? Because she's done horrible and put out horrible shit, and the numbers show it. For some reason, the woman still has a job, which that shows you how badly Disney needs cleaned out. Disney and Lucasfilms needs cleaned out. Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, and whoever they say is a real Star Wars fan should be left, and they should be hiring every new Star Wars director.
Eventually,
James Mangold can kiss my fucking lily white ass. If you don't want to stick with the philosophies of Star Wars and you want to make Jedi Prime,
yes.
Guess what? Make Dawn of the Jedi or get the fuck out.
Look,
sorry, I'm getting angry.
Let it out.
I'm just tired of these fuckers coming in and saying, I want to do my own thing. Guess what? Do your own thing and be creative inside of the realm of fucking Star Wars that was created by George Lucas, that we all love so much, that we had a feeling in our souls that we love so much.
Do it,
Zack Snyder. I don't get passionate about it. Do you ever see me get passionate? I'm a very low key.
No, the only thing that you get passionate about is like if I miss too many days of workout.
Yeah.
And Kathleen Kennedy.
Star Wars. I get passionate about Star Wars and my family.
Yes.
And I love training and I love my job and I like helping people. But I'm not one of those people who walks down the street. I'm an introvert.
It is.
I am not super emotional. I don't sit around giggling and laughing all the time.
I
don't yell at people all the time.
You talk about Kathleen Kennedy, they would not understand you at all.
I know, because I love Star Wars and she's fucked it up.
Yeah.
Leslie Headland is now fucked it up. But if they wouldn't have fucked it up, I would have loved them.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been going on forever. We can just sit here and go round and round. But
old men yell at clouds.
Bottom line is, this is horrible shit. We don't want the horrible shit anymore. And they have a very small window for people like me. I'm going to finish watching The Acolyte just because
we have to talk about it.
We're going to do some more podcasts on it after. I don't even know if we should do another podcast till it's over. Just wait for the final 5 episodes.
No, we need to keep this up. So
I don't know. I don't know if I can handle it. I might blow a fucking circuit. But yes, I mean, it's.
My whole thing was like, Star Wars never needed more diversity from the begin with. Have you not seen the Katina song, the bar scene?
Or all the women who were in charge telling the men what to do.
Yeah, even George Lucas was like,
when they rescued Leia from the freaking Death Star, who was giving the orders?
Yes.
Was Han and Luke telling her what to do, or was she telling them what to do?
Did you watch the interview that George Lucas did when he won that award in France?
Yes, I did.
Like, he pushed back on that. Yeah. He was like, what do you mean? Like, this was the early 70s. We were one of the first people to have a woman be, like, leading the men out of the rescue thing. We had a black guy who had a prominent role. We had all races, all things. I mean, you want diversity? They had like 170 different alien species. You don't get more diverse. They had every race, color, creed, all getting along except for droids, and he did that on purpose. That doesn't matter what color you are.
That always reminds me when people talk about Lando. I always think of that chasing Amy scene.
Yeah, I mean,
a white man bringing up Lando, that token coward. Yeah, and he starts shaving.
Yeah, I'm just like, George Lucas said,
never good enough for him. His problem is it's never good enough. And guess what? Your woke shit is dying. It's dying because
they overpush.
We don't care. Us people out here don't care about your woke, because guess what? I like everybody. Yeah. Unless you're a really horrible piece of crap.
Or named Kathleen Kennedy, well,
she's a horrible piece of crap. So I haven't seen. Whenever you see an interview with her, you can tell she is not somebody you want to be around. I'm sorry. She is not when I see an interview, when you come out and call us toxic male fans because we want you to do your job and to make good Star Wars, and you gave us nothing but shit.
Yeah.
But the reason why your stuff is so bad is because of us, not because your crap is bad.
Yeah.
I would love to root for you. I would love to say, holy crap, Kathleen Kennedy. I had hope. Rogue One gave me a lot of hope.
Yeah.
That we're going to finally start getting some good Star Wars. And then what has happened since Rebels, I think, and Rogue One were the first two things that came out by Disney, I believe. I'm pretty sure Rebels and Rogue One were probably the two first things that came out. Those are both things I like.
Yeah.
So it started off great.
I liked Andor.
Yeah, but Andor came later on. That came in like
I came after
3 years ago.
Yeah, I can't think between seasons.
Well, I'm talking like maybe two. I think that was Disney was bought in 2011 or 12, and then by 2014, I think they made Rebels, and they were making Rogue One. Rogue One was great.
Yeah.
Rebels, my favorite all-time cartoon TV series.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, now they're extending it out through Ahsoka and the movie Mandalore and Grogu, apparently.
Oh, you mean they have strong women?
Hera? Is Hera strong?
Yeah.
Is Sabine strong?
Very.
Is Ahsoka the name of the freaking series?
No.
That's because it's all because of Kathleen Kennedy. They would have never made her.
No.
Wait. Ahsoka was almost the primary character of the Clone Wars, which was who created the Clone Wars?
Yeah, let me think.
They started with George and ended in Lucas, motherfucker.
But no, he doesn't promote women. That was the first time I've seen George really kind of go against Kathleen Kennedy.
I feel good now, though. I got all my anger out.
You're going to have a great day. You got to go babysit your granddaughter.
My granddaughter for 3 hours this afternoon.
And you're
I'm feeling good now.
Yeah.
I cussed out Lindley Headland. I cussed out
This ends
Kathleen
our
Kennedy.
therapy session.
I mean, it's
AKA
all good.
Yeah.
Now, next week on Tuesday night, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna watch them on Tuesday nights. I'm sitting there like dreading watching the next one. The next one is the Jedi just walked in and started cutting down the witches. You know, I gave them force poison or something. You know,
how can 4 Jedi take out all the witches when the witches are
they could
more
because
powerful?
These witches are not this powerful. I'm sorry, it's bullshit. They're not powerful.
Let's see.
They're just some witches. Jedi are powerful.
Leslie.
What you think the Luke Skywalker could not walk into that coven of witches and take every single one, take them all down like that?
Well, I'm
sorry. He went in against those fucking flying stormtroopers that were fucking took a Mandalorian warrior, Mando.
Yeah.
Almost died taking one of them out. Luke comes in and crushes all of them. You think that a Jedi Master can't go in and take out a bunch of freaking backwater witches?
If you would have told me that a barely Force-sensitive Acolyte could take down a Jedi Master, I would not have believed you. They can't.
That's the problem. They can't.
So I can't wait.
So we'll end on that. Is Acolytes cannot take down Jedi Masters. It's a bunch of horse shit. This whole show is horse shit. And we're going to still do some more shows about this horse shit show just to tell you how horse shit it is.
Can't wait!